It became clear that the question, am I good enough, is not only wrong, but it's flawed. Instead, I started asking, hello, my name is Elenid and I'm an inner truth teacher and coach. Today I'm going to talk about one of the most common struggles people have whenever they're trying to achieve something. It could be a goal related to work, dating, or even learning a new skill. Whatever it is, sooner or later the same questions tend to come up. Am I good enough? Do I deserve this? Am I ready? And I know these questions very well because I used to ask them all the time. But eventually I came across a different way of looking at things and it completely changed my life. This is what I'm going to share with you today so you can also live more freely and fulfilled. Life is not about being good enough or deserving or about being ready. And I'm going to illustrate this claim with a personal story. When I first moved to Germany, I was a student and I needed to earn money. I thought I could teach Spanish, so I decided to visit tutoring schools and ask if they were looking for teachers. The problem was that I was terrified because I didn't speak German well at all. I was very insecure and I was embarrassed every time I had to speak German. But I needed a job, so I pushed myself to do it. I remember walking into the first school. There was a woman at the reception desk who looked quite serious, and I approached her saying, "Guten Tag." Then I started introducing myself in German and explaining I was interested in teaching there. She listened to me while keeping a serious demeanor while I stumbled through my sentences. And when I finished, she said very directly, "Yes, we're looking for teachers, but you would need to speak German well enough to explain the grammar to the students. Come back next year, maybe." There was no encouragement, no sugarcoating, and I left feeling demoralized. Immediately, my mind started telling me stories. Of course they rejected you. Your German sucks. You already knew this was gonna happen. And this is important because that's what the mind does. Not because it's telling the truth, but because it's repeating what it's learned for so many years. It's repeating things we've heard from other people in past experiences, ideas about success and failure and worthiness. But despite those thoughts, I knew I had to keep going. So on the same day, I went to another school. I was still nervous. My German hadn't improved in the last hour, but I thought, well, it can't be worse than the first time. So I walked in. And this time, a friendly woman greeted me with a smile. She invited me to sit down and asked me how she could help me. Again, I explained in broken German why I was there. But when I finished speaking, her eyes widened and she said, "You came as if sent by God. We've been looking for a Spanish teacher for so long." Now, this is ages ago, but I still remember that moment so clearly because, of course, I was happy that someone wanted to hire me, but at the same time, it was confusing because on the same day, one person was telling me that I wasn't qualified, while another person was ready to hire me right away. So which one was right? Was I good enough or not? And it wasn't until many years later that I understood something that completely changed the way I see life and myself. It became clear that the question, am I good enough, is not only wrong, but it's flawed. Instead, I started asking, is this a good fit? Life is not an exam where somebody is eventually going to give you a final grade. Life is rather exploration. You're looking for your people, your opportunities, and your place. And not everyone is your person. Not every job is going to be your job, and not every opportunity is your opportunity. That might be hard to hear, but somewhere there are people, opportunities, and situations that are looking for exactly what you have to offer. Once you embrace this perspective, life will be so much easier because drama and self-judgment will disappear and you'll stop taking rejection personally. Instead of trying to convince people to choose you, you'll focus on finding those who naturally resonate with you. This is how you stop chasing people as well. Whether it's a relationship, a client, or an opportunity, I live by a very simple principle. What is for me will choose me too. That doesn't mean that you won't take action. You still reach out, you still apply, introduce yourself, but you don't force things anymore. And because of that, both yes and no are positive answers. If someone says no, Great, thank you for the clarity. Now you can move forward. And if someone says yes, great, now you can see what's possible. Life becomes so much simpler when you see it this way. You exchange overthinking, proving yourself, and worrying about what people think for clarity, freedom, and confidence. So if you've been asking yourself, am I good enough? Do I deserve this? Am I ready? I encourage you to stop asking those questions and just go for what you want. Start the conversation, ask the person out, launch the project, and then you'll see what happens. Because sooner or later, somebody will say yes. There's a quote by Rumi that says, "What you seek is seeking you." So remember that you're not the only one searching. There are also other people hoping to meet someone like you. Ask yourself, what do I want? And then move towards it. Not because you've proven that you deserve it or that you're finally ready, but simply because you want it, and see where that takes you. Finally, I have a question for you. What's one thing you've been waiting to do, but you've been holding back because you've been wondering whether you're good enough? See you next time.